Hello and good day. Welcome to this month's Flamingo Community Lagoon, where we kick back and chat about Flamingo, the project roadmap, DeFi, crypto, the crypto markets, and anything else, as well as answer any questions from the Flamingo community, invite folks on stage to really just hang out and kick back and chat with us about anything. And for those who don't know, Flamingo Finance is an easy to use DeFi platform built on the Neo N3 blockchain. As a decentralized exchange, Flamingo is designed with smart functions for everyone from beginners to advanced cryptocurrency users. On Flamingo, users can stake cryptocurrency in liquidity pools and earn rewards in our native token FLM. We've been around for almost 3 years and currently have a TVL or total locked value of 45 million. We've also introduced our very own stablecoin called FUSD, where users can add collateral and borrow the stablecoin against the collateral. So let's get this thing started. From the team, here we have Somnium Wave, Zatarov, Mr. Google, AtLaser, Nori, and myself, Boardwas. How's everyone doing?
We don't know.
We're doing good. Yeah, you can take that joke, maybe, Mr. Google. We don't know.
Don't know how everyone's doing. Here's the thing, though. What else am I supposed to ask? I mean, I can specifically say, like, how are you doing, Mr. Google? But that's kind of rude. I feel like I'm leaving everyone out.
You can do the Chinese manner, and then you ask like, "How are you doing, Bordeaux?" And then you say, "I'm doing fine. How are you?" And I'm saying, "I'm doing fine." And then I'm saying, "How are you doing, Wave?" And then he's saying, "I'm doing fine." And then he asks me if I'm doing fine, and I answer again. And then we like do that for 30 minutes.
And that takes up the whole lagoon, and then we're done. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. No, I guess we're good. Can we like have it like this? If you're not good, go see a shrink and don't mention it here.
Sure.
You do that's maybe the Norwegian cold response on how you're doing, and the answer is bad. So yeah, but maybe you can ask, is there anything to talk about today? And I would say, oh boy, is there? The new earn page is close to release. There's a lot of stuff going on marketing with Sealy surveys we want to do. We have numbers from running ads now, and we have insight on how to improve. We can talk about Poly Network and how close it is to being resumed. And maybe people want to vent some frustration about that. That's okay. I've been frustrated myself. We have a new data set that Mr. Google has been working hard on for months, and I guess he's even more frustrated at the data than Poly Network at this point. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, leaving out talking about everything happening in the market with the ETFs and Tether doing mining and all that other stuff. So I guess an hour is maybe too little today. We'll see.
So
see.
Tether is mining dollars?
No, they're starting to invest in Bitcoin mining
Yeah, I saw that.
companies. Yeah.
But the
Yes.
founder is not. He's hiding in the shadows. He won't come forward and say where they're mining.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
I think, yes.
It does make sense, but I know that it's in the public eye, like a little shady.
Yeah, but in the criminals' minds, that would be a target, big target to
Definitely.
maybe, yeah. So I understand it.
Well,
Ah,
let's pick one of those topics that you just listed off because it's a lot. Why don't we start with maybe some stuff on the dev side and get into the marketing stuff a little bit later on?
Sure.
So I know that you guys have been working on a new parser and data sets and all that.
Yeah.
yeah.
We could talk about the data set, and we can talk about the earn page. If you want to start with the data set, that's okay, Mr. Google.
Yeah, I can do that. It's been progress. It's like always 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But what's really important now is to build a data set that basically makes it easy for us to do whatever we want, like we talked about in the marketing meeting yesterday. Maybe have some points for doing converts, and then once a month or whenever you want, you can like get some gas back and or stuff like that. Also, some incentivize to new wallets or new users. So yeah, it's gonna be really powerful, but it's important to put the time in there now, else we will be in the situation where we are now, where the parser is working fine, but it's dangerous to add new stuff because you're afraid that you break it.
Yeah, it's one of
So
those
yeah,
things you kind of got to get
it's
right.
like yeah, so it's and also when you're testing the parser, the way we built it now, you have to like get up to the current block to see if you have aggregated all the data correctly. And if you haven't, you have to find the bug and then you have to delete everything and then start over again. And the last parse I did took 10 days. So of course you can do some like checking while you're doing as well, but the final result is there when you're at the current block height, because then you can take the current state of the blockchain and compare it to the current state of the parser's data. So the power we have now is that everything is aggregated, so we don't need basically to go and look in the blockchain to get what kind of data was at block 1.5 million. We can fetch wallet balances from that block. We can fetch whatever data we want from whatever block we want.
And for the users, that will mean really powerful insights to, I guess, general data about the state of Flamingo and history, but also about the user's state, right? And
Yeah.
the user's history.
Yeah, and also for like competitions, or like we talked about, if you based on the volume that you're doing converts, you can get some kickback in gas, maybe build up a bonus or something that you can claim. We can have much easier to make trading competitions, and yeah, like you said, oversight. So we can give you like P&L, how much dollars did you make yesterday with your current wallet? How did your wallet look yesterday?
Yeah.
Maybe you did some trades, so you want to scroll back and see like a month ago I had 1000 FUSDT. I traded 7 times and now I have 50,000 USDT or 10 Bitcoins.
It's usually the feeling with the DEX is that you do something and that's history. Look at
Yeah.
the blockchain to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
But we don't want to be that kind of DEX. We want to be the DEX that gives you all the numbers. I think from the first, our first beginning, for at least for me and you, Mr. Google, it was Mingo, giving people better insights into their portfolio, and we shouldn't lose that perspective. And
I
we
think it's really
haven't.
important
So yeah.
because you want to know the state of your financials basically. So when you log into your online banking, if you have that, it's nice to see like your transaction history, and now you see that online banks are starting to map your events, like, oh, you spent this much on food, you spent this much on utilities and stuff like that. And the more overview you get, the more calm you can be, because then it's like, oh yeah, that's right. And speaking for myself, it's like I did a trade a week ago and I'm like, I'm gonna make some money on this trade, and today I don't remember what I traded. So the only way to figure out is to go to the blockchain and like do all that manual analysis of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's too hard. So then you don't feel comfortable. Like, are you doing a good trade? Are you doing a bad trade? How is the state of the economics right now?
It's kind of same with the marketing, and we can tie into that later. But we're doing activities, and we don't have the numbers to measure, or they're looking at the correct numbers maybe to measure success in what you're doing. So you're kind of in the dark, and it's not a good feeling. So yeah, having those numbers, if it's for your personal trading or if it's to measure how well you're doing in the marketing, I think it's important. And it's not like we haven't wanted to give users that information earlier. It
But
was
they're
more
really
like,
hard.
okay,
It's really hard
yes,
to aggregate that data, make that like work. It's so much planning into this parser and all the stuff we can build on top of it. Because right now it's like if we want to make some new data, it takes a couple of hours to make a new aggregator, like whatever we want. But then making this core parser was a key element to make further development easier. And also we had some technical debt, so we had to repay that with the front end, with the back end, with the parsers and everything. We moved really fast last year, and now we have to pay the price and do the cleanup, basically.
Yeah, and,
Yep.
and it's taking so much time and effort that I feel like it needs to get added to the Q3 on the roadmap, like new parser or data set or whatnot, because it's a big item.
Yeah, it really is. It's taken a lot of hours and takes a lot of time, and it's still not done. Basically, we're still lacking some collections from the old parser, and yeah, once they are done, we want to make the new collections that we talked about, like the aggregations for wallets and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna add that to my list of things to add to the roadmap because yeah, it's important
It's
stuff.
Yeah,
behind the
I
scenes,
think
but
I think in the
yeah,
future it will be powerful. In the future, like that's the reason why people used Flamingo instead of using the old Flamingo.
Mm-hmm.
It was because they got the insight. You got more insight, and I think basically we forget it when we use Flamingo that it's a site that gives you so much insight. When you use PancakeSwap, you don't have that kind of insight to your wallet. But
Mm-hmm.
like, of course, I feel it myself. Like, yeah, but like, this is what I should expect. Every time I go to Flamingo, I expect to see all this data.
yeah,
But we want to give you even more, be even more different than the other dexes
more
because
history, more
yeah,
averages, more performance metrics, and maybe things that is important for your trading, or is important for your night's sleep. So, or even stuff that gets you excited to just have Flamingo open all the time
yeah.
to see what's
Yeah.
happening.
Speaking of Flamingo open all the time, do you want to maybe discuss a little bit more about the new earn page?
Yeah, and the data set ties directly into that because
Yeah.
in my to-do list for the new earn page, I have broken it into two sections. It is all the tasks I have to do before the data set is ready and all the tasks I have to do after the data set is ready.
Uh-huh.
Because we will have new data inside the new earn page as well. I will say of course, but it's not of course for everyone, but I've looked at the design so much, so I know like there's missing pieces here that I can't like get into the production site without having the new data set available. So will probably maybe be some kind of pre-release of the earn page, and then it will be a full release with all the new data. So we're getting really close there. There's just actually just minor touch up here and there, visual bugs, opening up windows or opening up what's it called, drawers to view more information, and that's kind of buggy. So we're just doing the final polish before we can launch the new earn page, and I must say it looks sexy as hell.
Nice.
So
I think we showed
it's
some spoilers last time from the design. Yeah, we did. Yeah. So if you scroll up, you can see some of that.
yeah, I think that's too little. Maybe I could show some more right now.
Nice. Then I can answer, like Pumpit is asking the question. I would guess his question was about Poly Network and if we're building our own bridge, but yeah.
The next question's about that.
Yeah, I've been thinking about like that using gas for that. I think when the order book is there, we can use the gas at least to make a wall, a cell wall or something like that. Because it's nice to use it to buy a flame and maybe burn it once we have a lot of users, and then also use it as a cell wall. Is that what it's called when you have this huge wall of
Yep.
someone wanting to buy something? Yeah.
Yep.
Or
High
buy a wall or
wall.
something like that. Yeah. So let's say you put something at 0.05 cents and like we want to buy 10 million or 100 million. But yeah, it's a long way to go. It's I think it's hard to say now because we're in the market that we're at. When we're getting closer to a bull market and with the new EVM coming up now, seeing if we can get some more traction, more users. Yeah, that's because right now we're using a lot of that gas for doing the marketing stuff, testing marketing, finding ways to do it. Like I talked about, having this new wallets, maybe getting some extra gas as a reward for doing stuff. Also for older wallets, the more you trade, the more you get it as a kickback and stuff like that. And then the second question.
And well, for those who are just listening, and the question that was just answered was if Flamingo will do a buyback and burn mechanism using gas collected to boost APR. So that's the question that was just answered. And the next question is from Nosace. Hello, Flamingo team. What about the Poly Network bridge? Is there alternative for now? Are you guys working on breaching FUSDT and USDT? I think maybe bridging would be the word there.
Yeah, Poly Network is something we're currently working at getting back online right now. So basically it's working, but the assets from the old contracts needs to be migrated. So it's some more testing to be done there, but looks like, am I too optimistic if I say tomorrow, Atlasar?
I think the communication that I have had with the smart contract team, couple of days is more realistic to say.
Yeah, but
so
it's right around the corner. It's just
yes,
like
because
final.
today I was able to successfully do cross-chain with all Ethereum assets both ways, wrapping and unwrapping, and some of the Binance Smart Chain or BNB chain assets I was able to successfully wrap and unwrap. And we're fixing like bug by bug as we find them, and the bugs are usually just okay, it needs to use that contract instead of that contract right now, and making sure that the correct hashes is in the correct places, and all when we have all green lights on every asset that we can do successful small transfers, we have to then migrate over the assets, like you said, to the new contracts, because all those assets were kept safe during the hack and they're still safe. So they just need to be in a new contract so people are able to resume the same kind of activity. Because right now you can do some like $0.1 transfers, and if you try to do something more, it will basically not work because all the assets are still in the old but safe contracts. So a couple of days, maybe we want to make sure that this is right. And once we do resume, I would caution all users to like, okay, start small. And then as we ramp up the next weeks, there will we will see that everything is working as normal again. Don't do like $1 million transfer on your first wrap or something, because we haven't tested with a large amount yet either. So in a couple of days we can start doing normal transfers. In a week, when we have confidence, we can tell users it's 100% back up and running.
Yeah, and one thing to mention there, I know it's taken time. Communication has been bad. We have given you the information basically we have now and then. But we didn't want to stress the Poly team because we knew that they were working on it and figuring it out. No reason for us to like nag them every day about it. But it's really important to understand that you cannot have speed and security at the same time. So if you wanted the bridge back up like a couple of days later, I would be more cautious. It's a reason why it takes time, because security is important. And when we talk about bridges, I posted on Twitter, I think it was last week, I've been digging into something called Thorchain. We will reach out to NGD to see if we could maybe do a cooperation there and get Neo also listed on Thorchain. That will be a cross-chain bridge as well. So
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like
because after the recent hack, we're definitely looking into alternatives. But what
but
Poly
also
Network
having
is
like
doing, it's
multiple
really,
legs. Yeah.
it's really hard. Cross-chain is really hard, or multi-chain is really hard. It's easy to do decentralized. Or centralized. I mean,
Yeah.
centralized. I mean, decentralized is really hard. There's usually trade-offs, and some are successful. And Thorchain is really interesting. And Poly has been a good solution as far as decentralized solutions goes.
Yeah, and
So
like
yeah,
one thing we talked about at Lazar is all these new bridges will, or there will be a lot of new bridges because one thing is Poly Network, but then also multi-chain went down, and that was the biggest cross-chain platform in the world. So right now, I guess there's like 1,000 or 10,000 new bridges being built. All of these bridges will get hacked. It's just as simple as that. The pros for Poly Network is that yes, they've been hacked 2 times. They learn from that, but also one thing is the hacks, but then you have the 100 or 1,000 other things that they learned that the new chains doesn't know. So there's like on Flamingo we have the bug bounty program, so we can patch stuff if there's something before something bad happens. If something bad happens, everyone knows what it was. If something bad doesn't happen, then basically a new Dexon Neo wouldn't know that that was an issue. So that's also something to know, that like they have history. They've been doing this for a couple of years, and
that's software in general, I would say.
yeah,
Like
that's
being in
software in general. Like you see
yeah.
now, like you have to update all the BIOSes on Intel CPUs or AMD CPUs. So yeah, welcome to software. It's always like this, and the longer time, the more secure, I would say. But you're hacked until you're not, or you're not hacked until you're hacked, basically.
Yeah, and it's like you're hinting to there is always. I've been doing software for over a decade, and a lot of the lesson that you learn, they aren't like a public. It's not like a tweet or even an article or something, because the team discovers something internally, and they catch a bug before it's becomes something. And over multiple years, there's a lot of that, and you just fix them as you go, because you can't know everything at at once. So you just have to learn through experience. And sometimes there is hacks like on Poly Network, but you definitely learn from them. But there are like ticking time bombs also, that most of them you just catch yourself because you're so into the code that you're doing. And sometimes there's hard lessons like the big hacks that we have. So the the software that's been running the longest with the most experience, I trust the most, I would say.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
in a
because like look at
centralized
the
versus
new,
decentralized,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
from a software perspective, pure
yeah.
software
Look at the
perspective.
new like decentralized bridge. Let's say like a new bridge ABC is launching. Uh, why shouldn't like, why are they secure? Why are they more secure than someone else?
It's
It's
you would
impossible
have
to
to be,
say. It
yeah,
hasn't been battle tested
no, you
at
would have
all.
to be on the team to have some sort of confidence. And even then, like you say, you aren't battle tested, so any confidence is false confidence, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
yeah.
kind of
So
one of those things. You in terms of like the time it's taking to come back up, it like any other software really, it's you know, good, cheap, and fast. Pick two, right? You
Yeah.
can't have good, cheap, and fast all together. You can have good and cheap, but it won't be fast. You won't get it fast. You can have good and fast, but it's not going to be cheap. You can have cheap and fast, but it's not going to be good. So
Yeah, and good for in this perspective is secure and
yeah,
decentralized.
that's right.
So yeah,
yeah,
totally
it's
agree.
I think it's at least when they're coming back up now, it's a lot of lessons learned. Uh, One thing we learned is that we will always make sure that Flamingo has their own contracts, even though it's like would be nice to tap in and say you can send USDT from Neo to any chain. But Yeah, it's more secure because when you send, they're still using Flamingo, right, on the Ethereum side?
Yes.
Yeah, so when you send USDT from Ethereum, if you use Flamingo, that will get added to Aave, I think, or something.
Yep.
To general, that's not on our table, but I think then on the ETH side is generating some yield.
Yeah, and the withdrawal process is slower because of that.
Yeah,
So
but also like it's you can't withdraw the whole amount from the contract at once.
no,
So,
and
so
yeah,
you're not able to basically steal 100 million BNB.
exactly. There's a safety valve right there, and in both times that have saved a lot of asset I can imagine. I am not 100% sure that's the reason why, but for both hacks, Flamingo assets has been totally safe. And what I've heard from the contract devs is that it is because we use the custom contracts instead of the open bridge contracts that Poly Network have. That's open for everyone. So yeah, we are learning lessons as well, of course.
So all that said, we're about halfway through the Lagoon event. So I'd like to invite anyone from the audience on stage. If you have any questions or you just want to, hang out and tell us how you're doing, how your day's going, how the weather is, anything like that. Otherwise, and feel free to interrupt us, but I'm going to now move to the marketing side of things. That's been going real well. There's a lot going on in terms of Flamingo marketing, especially compared to like the beginning of Flamingo when there was more building happening and less marketing because you can't really market something you haven't built. But now that it's built and it's awesome and it's secure, now is the time to really go hard in the marketing. So we've been running some paid advertisements on several different crypto-related websites like ETHScan, BSC Scan, Polyscan, all of that stuff. CoinGecko, CoinDesk, that kind of thing. The problem with that has been that it's all just generating traffic to Flamingo, which is great, but we can't really see what kind of impact that has because we're not collecting any data from our users or from traffic because we're DeFi, we're a DEX. Like that's kind of a no-no in this space. So the workaround that we've decided to go through with is build specific landing pages that tie into Flamingo so that when you click on these ads, instead of just going to Flamingo, and then we are kind of blind about how many users are coming to Flamingo and how often and all of that, we can kind of check and track on these landing pages. So these landing pages will be more educative. They will most likely include different tasks for new users to get involved and learn how to use the platform, download a wallet, learn how to take different asset actions, convert, wrap, stake, all of those things, claim, that kind of stuff. And yeah, so we're going to be continuing the paid advertisements, but once we get these landing pages off the ground. So that's kind of next on our radar, as well as Zeely marketing. So for the Zeely marketing, we plan to use it not as much as like an educative outlet like the landing pages will be, but more marketing. So folks who already use Zeely will see a Flamingo campaign there, and they can earn points that way, as well as folks from our community will be able to go to Zeely and essentially do tasks on Zeely, but those will be more marketing focused tasks. So following us on Twitter, joining the Discord, retweeting this tweet, clapping on this Medium article, bringing a friend, referring, all that kind of stuff. So that'll be more marketing focused. We plan on launching that in the next month or two. as a little bit of a spoiler for those who have joined the Lagoon, we kind of plan on aligning that with Flamingo's third birthday and what we're calling version 3 of Flamingo Finance. Those are all kind of happening right around the same time, so there's a good chance that this first kind of inaugural Zeely campaign will be like a Flamingo turns 3 kind of thing. So there'll be a reward system, point system, a leveling system, so that if you earn a certain amount of points, you level up to the next level. And with each level, you'll get multipliers on your reward. So if you're level 2, you get this kind of this amount of FLM, and if you're level 3, you get all that FLM times 1.5 or whatnot. So it should be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be a big hit. I know a lot of crypto projects use Zeely in this exact way, just to generate noise and get new followers and all of that. And then it's going to be about getting these new people to the landing pages on Flamingo, and from there we can do everything internally. Like we can reward you for, like I said, creating a wallet, making a swap, all that kind of stuff. So we'll have a point system on Zeely, and a leveling system on Zeely, and that'll be all marketing. Then we'll have a point system and a leveling system potentially on these landing pages. So 2 ways to earn. These are both brand new. I'm super excited about it. I know the team's super excited about it. And yeah, does anyone have any questions or kind of anything else to mention in regards to the landing pages or in regards to Zeely?
Yeah, I want to add something to that. Regarding the first the landing pages and the ads that are tied to them. We are thinking of doing a survey to ask all our existing users for valuable information about how they use Flamingo, what made them use Flamingo, what are sort of the trigger like messages or something that helped you to actually create that wallet, connect to Flamingo, and start using Flamingo. And the answers we get from that survey will directly tie into what content ends up on these landing pages. And it could be even directly quoted from some of the surveys if there's really like compelling arguments for or compelling messages that would most likely convert the user, because our existing users know the value proposition best because it either solves a problem for them or it gives them value using Flamingo right now, or else I guess they wouldn't have been using Flamingo. So we're maybe doing some guesswork on the landing pages, but we're also going more analytical into it and trying to figure out what has already been working for Flamingo, because there is still a lot of locked value in Flamingo, like you said in the beginning of this Lagoon, Bordeaux. And there is a reason behind it. So we're doing something right, and we need to sell that something right to the users or the new potential users. So the survey will tie into that. And for all the people listening in now, I guess you're all existing users. Hopefully you will gladly help us fill out that survey so we can improve our marketing and test out new strategies.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that part up too as well, and reminding me that that'll actually be a third way to earn FLM, or a third new way to earn FLM. So we'll have the Zeely campaigns, the landing pages campaigns, as well as by taking the survey, you'll also be able to earn FLM that way. And we're going to try to do it so that it's not like annoying and we're not like, take the survey, take the survey, take the survey in your face all the time, but maybe just more subtle. Like we'll have a, bar at the top of the page, or maybe just like a small pop-up in right hand corner or something. And yeah, you can just easily click like, yeah, I'll take the survey, or no, maybe next time kind of thing. So
yeah. It will be a time-limited thing for now. I guess we will try to collect data over a month and get more aggressive if we don't have any all the numbers and all the answers that we want by the end of that month, to make people fill out the survey. And there will also be some qualification for the survey. You have to at least be a user of Flamingo to be eligible for some kind of reward, because as we know, if you have a reward, you have all these spammers as well. So we can always check on chain what's been happening to your to that wallet to see if you're actually a Flamingo user, and that will be one of the qualifications to fill out that survey, so that we can actually see that you are a user and you're giving us valuable information from the perspective of a user. And I think that would be immensely valuable going forward with the marketing, because then we can know where to target the new users that easily convert, rather than educating a whole population on the internet about crypto and DeFi and trying to get them down a steep funnel and eventually becoming Flamingo users. That's costly. So
Yeah, and
we're starting at the bottom.
yes. Not only, finding out where to target, but who to target, what to target them with, how often to target them, when to target,
Yep.
all of that stuff. So it'll all be super important information. And we will directly we'll get back into the paid advertising once we get those landing pages up. Right now, I think we're gonna maybe put a hold on the paid ads, just because it's not super awesome that it's like kind of going in blind right now. So in the meantime, we'll be focused on Zealy, the landing pages, and the survey. That's kind of like probably the next month or so of the marketing team efforts. So
Yeah, but it's been, even though the ads are on pause right now, it's been immensely valuable to try to see, like, okay, which pages are we getting traffic from? Are those pages the pages we want to be on at all? Like, we can't say right now, because we haven't really we don't have the information from our users like we get from the survey, but still we could kind of guess that some pages we shouldn't be advertising Flamingo on, and it's too far off that we will convert anyone from those sites. And all those lessons learned, which all the lessons learned, if we do that later, then it takes more time. So I guess, like, throwing a little bit money at the problem and seeing what works and what does not work, that gives us a head start, I would say. So
yeah,
even though we post now, I think the marketing we have been doing is are good lessons.
yeah, and also just because we're blind to the data doesn't mean that it's not working, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot more users on Discord, a lot more people just kind of joining and just joining the Discord just to say, hey, there's a lot more like, hey, how's everyone doing going on in the Discord? And I think a lot of that also has to do with the ambassador program. The ambassador program is bringing a lot of new users in. I'm seeing a lot of, like I told the team, it's kind of a weird data point, but I'm seeing a lot more people clicking on the various emojis in the announcements, and a lot more people just hanging out in the Discord in general and liking our tweets and all of that. So the platform's definitely growing our user base for sure. It's just that we don't have the exact numbers, which is kind of troubling. So
Yep.
that's really the only reason why we need these landing pages, and at least on the data side. And then also the other benefit is educating the users with the landing pages, because right now we have the top of the funnel covered, but it's the bottom that, let's say we bring new users to Flamingo and they just land on the current landing page, like, could be very overwhelming for a new user who doesn't know anything about Flamingo. Like, what the hell is all of this? I have no idea. But if we send them to a landing page, this is like step one. This is a little
Yep.
bit of Flamingo. Download a wallet. Two, this is a little bit about swapping. Go make a swap.
Yes, and we're going broad with the advertisements as well. So we're saying, like, trade, earn, and borrow crypto with ease, like in the ad, and then, okay,
Oh,
user, they click the yes, exactly how, and also what triggered you. Was it the earn? Was it that part that triggered you clicking the ad? Then we should focus on you earning from Flamingo. Was it borrow? Then okay, we should focus on that, because maybe it's a DeFi user, and like, but I can't borrow on my platform. Maybe I should check this one out. So when we're like doing this broad advertisement, top of funnel type of stuff, and okay, we're educating them because they can learn about everything on the landing page right now or the front page, but that takes time. Like, okay, I can learn a little bit about earn, a little bit about borrow, but the chances of them converting, I guess it's less than when you're more specific. So yeah, we're
Actually,
learning something, but yeah.
I was going to say, especially since if with on the landing pages we also give a little bit of a reward for doing these things, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot more incentive to like learn all of this rather than just like take it upon yourself to learn it all because you might benefit. That's kind of a big ask of new users. Like you need to learn all of this about DeFi in order to use Flamingo, but you can do it or you don't have to. Like up to you, but it's gonna take your time out of your day. Whereas here, at least you're gonna earn something while you're doing it. So.
Yeah, and when we're testing a lot of different landing pages and a lot of different approaches, it might be, okay, maybe trust is the biggest thing. And then the landing page is totally different. There's the rewards, yes, but maybe the most important thing is that you can maybe hear clips from these lagoons. You can see that there's actually people behind here. You can have testimonials from the most happy users, and that helps to convert, get them over the line to actually make that wallet and connect and deposit and start using Flamingo. We don't know yet, so getting specific is good, and it's going to take some time to figure out which are the correct triggers, and there might be multiple for multiple audiences. So it's a really exciting time though, because here we can be really creative, and we've been having a lot of chats and a lot of meetings about marketing lately. So I can feel that we're like getting momentum internally as well, because most everyone on the team is excited to talk about marketing.
Yeah, it's fun to be involved in these kind of new adventures, especially with things like paid advertising, specifically in crypto. It's a whole different ball game and a learning experience, as well as marketing through Zealy and all of that. Like, that's one thing that keeps me coming back. Like, just these new learning experiences. And being able to take what I know from the corporate world and completely smash it into the ground and learn all of these other ways of doing things, right? Like that's very exciting to me
Yes.
because I know the old ways and these are just not that. So, um, yeah,
Yeah.
very exciting.
It's a brand new world to explore, I guess. And
Yeah.
that's always exciting. Yeah. Very cool. So it's now time to burn some FLM. Oh no, that was the other. That was the other AMA. A little throwback there that we had just had an AMA with most of the same team members over at Meme to Earn, and people are welcome there next month as well if they want to join. We have 2 hours of fun, most of us talking today. So this is 1 hour and 45 minutes in. So
I
I'm
see
ready
we
for another
had
coffee.
I see we had some question about like hiring crypto influencers. I think
Yes,
that's yeah, it
I
didn't
have
work.
been.
We tested it with Meme Turn at the early stages, but yeah, I don't know like the effect. Yeah, it will help get some people in, but
Yeah, it's on the roadmap. I have been reaching out to
yeah,
various
but to
influencers.
real influencers this time, I guess.
And
Yeah.
they have actually, there's been a couple that said, like, yes, they will make a Flamingo video and things like that. But I feel like with a lot of these influencers, like, they say yes to a lot of things and then might not actually. So you got to keep pinging them about it. Like, hey, how about that Flamingo video? Hey, how about that Flamingo video? So that's kind of what I'm doing with the influencers now. And,
Yeah, are
but
we hiring them or more like you should make a video about it?
it depends, right? It depends on if they want to do it for free and we can just kind of like share it and or reward them from the ambassador program like we did with unlocking the chain. Um, or if it's like an influencer with maybe millions of followers or views, then we can talk about it, hiring them or at least paying them for the one video kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely something that we are focused on, but more like a passive kind of focus. Um, Whenever I have any kind of extra spare time, I'm reaching out to various influencers. But my main focus right now with the marketing team is these paid ads and the new campaigns. So
navigating that whole influencer stuff and crypto is also hard because there's all these negative connotations with influencing and crypto. Because if you're making shoes and you have an influencer, like a paid promotion with them wearing them and stuff, okay, you could probably convert some more users or more people to buy those shoes. But with crypto, there's all these scams as well. There's not like a shoe is usually a shoe, and you can probably walk around in them. But there in crypto, there's all these influencers shilling bad projects that eventually like do a rug pull, or maybe they go to zero and they stop maybe working on the project. You don't see that very much with influencers influencing other products, I would say, like fashion and stuff like that. But with crypto, it's so hard
It is.
because are you getting the real value from the influencer? Are their numbers real?
Yeah, it's kind
And
of like a
yeah,
minefield, like I've said in other lagoons. Like I feel like I'm orienting myself, like just stepping very, very, very carefully because of the different types of scams. For example, I'm getting quote unquote influencers messaging me on Discord claiming to be an influencer and that we should pay them X amount and they'll tweet or they'll make a video, but there's no way of me actually knowing. And once I like say, okay, message me from your Twitter, oh well actually blah blah, blah, they give me some excuse and okay, scam. Or maybe you call yourself an influencer, maybe you have hundreds of thousands of followers, but there's no way of actually knowing that those are real users and not just bots or like fake followers, basically. So it's a minefield, trying to orient through all of it, but getting there slowly but surely. It's like Laser said, it's not as easy in crypto as it would be in another space. So
We're learning a lot. I think that's the important part. Like, and it's also a good time to learn since it's a chill market basically. Uh, it's
yeah.
really nice to have learned all that stuff that we learned the last couple of months, because that makes us save that time when it's really important to hit the gas
And then the next
or
step
hit
we
the
have to
pedal.
ask
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, we all
So we
have
don't
so
like
much
spend a
knowledge.
month to get Twitter ads and like, oh, that didn't work. That correct? Yeah. So
Good point.
so yeah, it's really good to do all this research right now when it comes to crypto, because it's a whole different game than Web 2.
yes, and we're getting into position for a bull run, I would say, and a lot of that is positioning. It's maybe a wordplay, but it's we need to position ourselves in the market in the way we market ourselves. So what is unique and what is the selling points, and where do we find the users that really want to use Flamingo? And once we have that, we have positioned ourselves in front of the goal, I would say, and in
Yeah.
a soccer metaphor. And then once the ball arrives, that would be the bull run. We are able to score. So learning all that now is like it's a lot of practice matches, I would say. Now that we have the bear market and we can practice a lot. Fortunately, we can. So yeah, it's also good that we can wait a little bit more with the with the bull run, getting even more ready, maybe.
Do you have any estimates when the bulls are
When
back?
bull,
Uh,
not any financial advice, but some months before the next Bitcoin halving.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
thinking, yeah,
yeah.
2024 with the halving, it'll come.
We had this discussion yesterday morning about like fiat versus Bitcoin and crypto. Of course, not all crypto has a utility, so that's a different thing. But like, if we look at the Bitcoin perspective of it, it's like it's only 21 million Bitcoins there. When it comes to fiat, the government is just trying to regulate inflation with interest rates. And basically, it's just like this evil spiral. When you're increasing the interest rates, prices are increasing because people need to make more money to pay their loans. So yeah, it's hard to like. I'm 99.99% sure that Bitcoin is the future, but it's so hard to like. Why doesn't everyone else see that? And then when you see that so few people understand it, then it's like, yeah, maybe it's like internet back in the days when you got emails or stuff like that, and people were like, yeah, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, FLM price prediction, impossible to say.
Yes.
It all depends on adoption. It's simple math actually. So let's say let's say to have FLM at $1, people hold 1,000 FLM. Well, then we need, is it like a million people holding 1,000 FLM? Then you have that market cap. So if we have 100,000 people, if we have 10 million people, if you have 100 million people, if we have 1,000 people, like, yeah, so what we're working on is making demand for it. And yeah, I think with Lend, it's really nice to see that it's chugging along. It's kind of boring with it right now, but afterwards, when that is growing, that will feed the fund a lot. The fund is already getting fed. When people are liquidated, you can see like $2,000 going in there to buy FLM. I think the ratio of fund to FLM is almost at like 2x now.
Yes.
So it's hard to say what the price will be, but that's what we're trying to do with the marketing as well. It's really cool to see that Neo is also building this EVM sidechain. I think that will help for adoption. In my head, it's really early. We discovered it, I think it was last week or something. It's more like you can have Flamingo, you can have some regular liquidity pools that people can use their MetaMask with, but then you can like have this, want to lend with your collateral, migrate your assets to Neo N3. And then you have an incentive to do that because you already have the MetaMask wallet. So now you have an incentive to download Neoline or something else.
Yeah, being able to connect with MetaMask to do kind of any kind of earn logic or yield farming or anything that could give you some value, it's a gateway drug, I would say. And you open yourself up to 100 times bigger market, I would say, at least in the monetary sense. There's more, at least 100 times more value around in MetaMask's wallets than there is in Neo wallets, if you exclude Neo Foundation's wallets. But yeah, tapping into that market of EVM compatibility, that's huge. And definitely something Flamingo will seriously look into once it matures more from being just the DevNet that it is now.
And speaking of predictions, I will predict that Flund will always be worth more in FLM every single day. Worth more than
I
the
believe you.
Yeah. Actually, that's the one thing I'm 100% sure of. So that's a really
That's
nice one.
actually financial advice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actual, it's facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like getting more trading, getting like Flamingo to be used as a DEX. That's the main thing here. And then it's basically, I think if you want to invest in the platform, you need to buy Flund because Flund is basically owning a share of the platform's revenue. And like you see now with liquidations or with interest rates and stuff like that, the fund is fed with new FLM getting bought up. Also in extreme market conditions when there's a lot of trading and stuff like that, we can see like the fund is growing with 500, 600, 700,000 FLM in a day. So, so if you want like a piece of the pie, go get some Flund, and the Flund will always be fed from all the different things happening on Flamingo. I think it's a unique feature because if you could get a percentage of everything happening on Uniswap, that will be a good deal.
And I think also the fund is an easy solution if you don't want to speculate and check in on your
Yeah.
pools often, because okay, you add liquidity and that's really good. We celebrate everyone who provides liquidity to the platform, of course, but then you're a little bit more professional as well, because you're selecting 2 tokens that you want to add your liquidity to, and you maybe speculate a little bit about the future of their value because you hold them 50-50, and you're maybe making a prediction of something that okay, that will be more valuable than picking that pool and stuff. But if you're just in the fund, okay, there's a small cut from every pool, and because there's fees from every trade, and it's aggregated into the fund, and eventually it puts some buy pressure on the FLM. So it's an
Permanent
easy
loss.
solution. What?
It's just a plus no impermanent loss when you're single staking.
Yes, yes. So it's
Yeah.
a
So
easy way in.
yeah. But then the math is simple. It's a roadmap or tokenomics that says that it will be 1,000 million. Is that 1 billion in American?
Yes.
1 billion tokens. Yeah. And then
1,000
you have to
million is a billion.
1,000 million is a billion.
It's different in Norwegian.
Yeah,
That's
it's
why it's
different in
special.
Norwegian.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Different
it
than
is.
Rode?
So that's why it's always like this, going over to not saying a trillion.
We have
So
like a million and a milliard. That's
yeah,
two. That's you have 2
Oh,
steps for everyone you go up. So yeah, it's different. But you were
but
saying, Odd?
yeah, it's like the math there to like it's how many people are on Flamingo or using Flamingo actively. How much trading is done on Flamingo? So you have this 1 billion tokens shared among those people, and the more people, the more value, basically.
Yes, and it's all up to Bordeaux right now to get more people. So
Yeah.
come on, pick up the slack and get us a million more users. I'm just kidding. It's a
it's
team
working.
effort. Everyone have to do their
But when it
part.
comes to MetaMask integration, that's not for Flamingo on Neo N3. It will be for uh, DEX made on the side chain. It's Neo is making EVM like Ethereum virtual machine, since MetaMask is only supporting Ethereum virtual machines. So so it's also a nice thing for Neo. It will use gas to pay for transactions. So it's really good for the people on Neo that's generating gas. You need to then bridge your gas over to that chain to use that chain. But what's really nice with it is that it's really simple for new projects. Let's say a different EVM game or EVM project that's already running, to just copy paste their contracts and then also run on the Neo EVM.
Yeah, it's going to be faster than Ethereum, right? Because
Yeah,
of the
faster and cheaper.
consensus mechanism, and cheaper.
Yeah.
Yes. So it has some value proposition right there. It's good, and
Yeah, but it's
as
easy to copy paste what's already made on Ethereum. Like we have 10,000 different projects on
yep,
Ethereum. They can then basically just copy paste their code, and then they are live on the Neo EVM as well, and one step closer to Neo N3.
indeed.
Yeah. So I'm really optimistic, but like you say, it's a DevNet right now. They're just doing development testing. There's no reason to just copy paste Ethereum with its flaws. So but it will be cool. I think it's big news. I hope they will speak more about it soon.
Hopefully, yeah. And everything we say about it, it's not 100% confirmed.
No,
So yeah,
it's just from what we see on the internet, basically.
yep.
Well, on
All
that note,
right.
at the top of the hour, maybe we should wrap things up unless anyone else has anything pressing they want to pay attention to.
I have to leave, so from my side, we could wrap it up. But I would love probably to talk an hour more, but then there won't be any dinner on the table at home, so I'll have to leave. And it's been a good hour, so let's wrap it up.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks everyone for joining. we'll see you next time at September's Flamingo Community Lagoon AMA event. And yeah, we'll see you in the pools. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Good one. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice day.